Okay, Thomas, what are we doing today?
Sticking these little tiny fans and some PlayStations.
I got these on Amazon for like $4 a piece. They're 5 volt, 0.2 amps. Uh, they can run off of the PlayStation directly, but we're going to solder in a couple USB chargers so we can get exactly 5 volts.
Alright, we got this lamp cord switch, and the reason we're putting these on here is because the power button on the PlayStation doesn't really shut off the AC power to it. That's killing this right here, this DC power going to the motherboard. So if you got your PlayStation plugged up just sitting there, it's using electricity, just wasting it trying to turn it into DC for no reason when you're not using it. So little lamp cord on a switch, you can not waste power and not have to try and unplug your console every time that you want to not play it.
For those wondering, this is a 1001 model, and he's has a 5501 model. And the problem is for any of them, because they all use a similar power supply here on the side. And the second switch we have, this is what I'm putting on mine, is for the fan right here, because these power supplies sure do get hot, and you might know that the 1001 sometimes melts the plastic and it stops reading discs. I've already replaced this with a metal one from a later PlayStation model, but we're putting in the fan in there anyways because they still get really hot. This is the ambient temperature of the transistor with the PlayStation off, and we're going to plug it in and show how hot it can get, not even using any power to the actual system. About 72, 73 Fahrenheit.
It's been about 10 minutes since we plugged in this AC power to it, and let's take some readings here. So, well, that part of the board is about the same. Capacitors about the same. These transistors aren't doing anything. No, let's see, 90. Oh shit, 120.
Oh, damn, that's a lot.
Yeah, 120 degrees right there. That thing's just sitting there, literally burning electricity. 123.
And that's just plugged in for 5-10 minutes so far. So when we put that fan in there, we can certainly make this thing last a little longer.
Lasts for 20 years, now it'll last for 200. For those of you that don't know what this is a USB adapter. AC in, USB out, 5 volts.
Yeah.
Alright, we're gonna dismantle this little guy. 99% of the time that you find one of these, they are not going to be made for you to tinker with. Once in a while, you'll get lucky and it'll have some like T9 bits on it, and you can pop it off that way. But most of the time, it's going to look like a piece of plastic mess. And all kinds of ways you can take these apart. None of them a good way. The tools at my disposal are this little wire cutter, a Phillips screwdriver, and my good old universal multi-tool. And also this thing. Let's have at it. Alright, we finally got this out. Chopped a little piece of something off of it, but forget about it. Still works. For our purposes, anyway.
Alright, so go ahead and show us where the power comes out.
Alright, out here. Excuse me. Right here, you can see these 4 pins. That one is, well, either positive or negative on the outsides. I don't remember just by looking at it. Then the inside's data. I don't need the data. I need those 2 outsides. Outside a little further a lot of the times, they'll have 2 pins that's keeping that on. That's your ground. That's those two right there. Don't need to worry about those. Just those two outside pins. We're gonna solder our wires up to that. These two right here. Yeah, AC power and these little blocky square looking pieces. Alright, well, let me get this.
So first we're soldering the AC, correct?
Yeah, I guess so. We can do that first.
Now, a little bit on how the PlayStation works. The power comes in right here. We can splice a wire straight off for our 5-volt adapter here to run the fan.
I try not to use my teeth to skin wire because I'm scared I'm going to end up inhaling a little piece of wire and it's stuck in my lungs and then I die. So that's that. What I'm doing right here is called pretending, which is the act of pretending that you know what you're doing. You get it? It's a joke. Cue laugh track. Blow to kiss. Looks a little better. It's a little sturdier.
Now we should hot glue it.
We gotta put the other side on.
I mean, hot glue the connections.
Well, we're gonna plug this up. No. Like a hot glue connection. This is solid. It ain't coming loose.
Yeah, but you want it to be permanent.
Oh,
Gotta
yeah.
use the hot glue. Why don't they make conductive hot glue? It's called solder.
Yeah. So we found these in the woods. Pretty good. Pair of wire cutters.
Now you're soldering for the fan, correct?
Yeah, coming off the bottom of the board on the underside of where those USB pins are. Try and use some copper wire for this stuff if you can, if you have it laying around. You know, if aluminum wire is all you got, that's all you got, but it's a hell of a lot easier to work with copper wire. Looks like shit. Alright, then go ahead and give it a test. Yep, it's soldered. Yeah.
Oh, what did you do? Bake.
This
Yeah,
was a
down,
temp
down,
slash
down, down. There you go.
I'll stand in there and be cut. One time I was cooking a turkey and I forgot that, you know, they put stuff in there. But it was in plastic. So there was just melted plastic all inside the turkey.
I heard the outside was good.
I wasn't gonna eat that, it'd probably kill us. Also, I'm not quite sure who I'm talking to. Am I talking to you? Am I talking to YouTube? I don't know.
You're talking to me. As though there were a third person in the room.
Oh. If there was a third person in the room, I wouldn't be talking. Meat is murder. We're using these little jumper cables as a little connection. That way we can just pop that on and off in case we want to rip the PlayStation apart again and tinker with it some more.
So we've soldered the little jumper pins on the end of the 5-volt out, and it just pokes in kind of like that. And now we'll use our little heat shrink.
Oops. Oh, son of a bitch. I can get it over there. That was a close one.
I've done that too.
My Zippo usually lights first strike, but I've been neglecting it lately.
Alright, now let's give it a test to make sure that the fan works the way it should before we solder it to the PlayStation.
There you go. Ta-da! It's a freaking fan, it spins.
Ah.
What do you touch it for? Don't touch the soldering iron.
You touched it first.
I get to touch it.
Okay. Okay, so now we're lining up the power supply on the case on a spot where it fits. The 1001 model is a little tight, so it just so happens we had the smallest 5-volt power supply that would actually fit. There's not much tolerance. We'll go ahead and hot glue that in there. So now we'll have to solder the AC end to the back of the power supply. We'll probably cut the cord a little short so it's not running all over the place. This is not the right screwdriver for the job.
No, that screwdriver's a piece of crap. Right there, right there. It's AC power.
Okay, we've tucked some wires neatly under, and then we went ahead and removed the CD reader and the power supply cord so that way we can work over here better. And now we're going to solder the AC.
Make sure I'm doing it the right side. Yeah.
Oh, don't forget we got a switch.
Oh yeah, I did forget about that. Oh, it's still going this way.
Yeah.
I don't look that bad.
Hot glue it.
Barely burn. No.
Yeah. While Thomas works on figuring that out, we will install a switch onto this power cord. So that way PlayStation's not using power when we don't want it to. First we'll take this apart. Okay, now in the cord there's a 2 wires. You'll need to cut one of them so that way the switch can break the connection before it reaches the PlayStation. And to do that you just lay it down in here like so. Okay, I had to strip the wire so it would fit in there, but note how one travels the whole distance and then one is split in the middle. When the cover goes back on it, the metal contacts will poke the wire and complete the connection if the switch is on.
Alright. Drill out the square there. The hole we gotta cut for this. Hopefully it'll be in the right place. If not, I'm sorry.
Now you trace the inside, not including the lip,
Yeah.
because the lip will cover up all the little funny scratches that we make.
Here we go.
This is a very dangerous act. Do you need me to hold the PlayStation for you?
Nah. I don't know what's on there, but it's wanting to fly off.
Hot glue.
You're probably right.
So you don't hit a hand.
Yes. You don't want a close up of what this looks like.
Doesn't matter what it looks like. Well, we fit the switch in there. And now we can connect it to the fan power to turn the fan on and off when we want to.
Just let's make sure it actually fits in there.
Perfecto.
Hot dog fits. That's cool.
Aesthetic. Now, I'll probably need to take off the words down there,
Magic eraser to take care of that.
but we'll go ahead and wire that up. And then we hot glue the fan in here, and then wire one side to the switch so that way we can control if it's on or off. And then this will run back to the 5-volt power supply. Okay, we should have everything wired up correctly now. Go into here, meaning that we can flip the switch, well, if this one's on, to start the power and start the fan. Now, tactically placed right next to the transistor that gets hot, this should fix some of the overheating problems. So we'll go ahead and put everything back together inside of here.
Oh, I glued it in the wrong place. The fan was meant to be right here.
Oh. Don't worry about it. It is definitely sucking some air, so that's what matters.
It'll be good.
Alright, we'll put everything back in and... Great. And the final test is to play it. I don't know if you can hear the fan spinning, but it's not too loud. I'm sure it's keeping it a little cooler.
I'm not saying thanks for watching. I'm not gonna say it.
Thanks for watching.
Oh, damn, we got a lot of plastic on this thing.
Yeah.
There we go. People open boxes. People watch videos. People watch people, I don't know, not doing anything in particular.
Special thanks to Ontario.